Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Gusby.
And I'm Ben Katko. Thanks for joining us here on News 3 today. We started freezing cold out there.
Yes.
But Kyle swore it was going to get warmer, and it really is getting warmer out there. The sun is up. It's a beautiful day outside right now.
I don't know about you. I still need my jacket
we're
right about now, though. This is a live look from our Dozier log cam. We're taking a look out over Highway 80. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Kyle Dennis is here with your forecast first. Kyle?
All right, good morning, guys. Yeah, it was a frigid start. Temperatures this morning got down to freezing. In fact, some spots saw the 20s. As we move through the afternoon, though, we will see sunshine. It will still be windy, but we start a warming trend as we move through the day today. So let's take a look at that forecast. Sunny at noontime with a west wind around 10 miles per hour. We're at 59, but that wind increases to 15. But with a wind out of the west or a west-southwest wind, we will warm up. In fact, there's an expression, wind from the west warms everyone best. That's what we'll see today. 68 at 3 with sunshine, 6 o'clock, 67. We top out around 69, and it is possible that a couple of backyards could get to 70. Now, it does stay a little bit on the windy side, so still could be a little nicer, but you know what? We'll have a lot of sunshine, and with 69 near 70 degrees, can't really complain about that, especially with how cold it's been. But tonight, while it will be a little chilly and you may want a jacket, it's not going to be as cold. We drop down to a low of 45 degrees. Now, with the wind still in full force today, it is still going to be, we're still looking at a high pollen level today and through the weekend. It stays dry, it warms up, everything's going to be blossoming again. But then we have a higher chance of rain heading into Monday, and that's going to bring things down at least a little bit. So a little relief coming for the early part of next week. But of course, the main thing we were focused on is St. Patrick's Day. You know, last year it was a cold start, 30 degrees. I think it will be a little milder this year, but you may still need a jacket to start. Got to 69 last year in the afternoon. This year, it will be warmer, and I'll have that full St. Patrick's Day forecast in just a few minutes. Ben and Kim?
All right, you know we're inching closer to St. Patrick's Day when the Clydesdales are in town.
That's right. These magnificent horses are one of the most popular parade attractions every year, and you can see the Clydesdales up close and personal today. News 3's Danny Dykes is live on your site this morning, right across the street at Grayson Stadium with a new friend. Good morning, Danny.
Hey, good morning, Kim. Well, I am here with Jack. Now, the average horse weighs about 1,200 pounds. This one right here weighs almost 2,000. And you and your families will have plenty of opportunities this week to see them up close before the parade. The beautiful animals were here for the public viewing this morning. They made a full hitch appearance yesterday around Daffin Park. The Clydesdales have been mascots for the beer giant since 1933. And handlers say just looking at them, you can see what makes the Clydesdales so special.
Just the size. Everybody loves the size. People don't get to see horses of this big very often.
Catch the Clydesdales today from 8:30 to 5 o'clock here at Grayson Stadium behind the right field wall. The horses will hitch up for a parade at 5 around Daffin Park. Then they'll return here to Grayson Stadium at 6, where you're invited for food and a horse viewing. Then on Friday, the horses will be at Garden City City Hall off of I-16 and Dean Forest Road from 12:30 to 3:30. And then again, you can see the Clydesdales up close from 5 to 9 p.m. at Grayson Stadium. And the team will strut its stuff in the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday, so you can come out before then or just catch them on then. Live outside of Grayson Stadium with Jack, Danny Dykes, WSAV News 3.
All right, Danny, thank you. And news you need to know this morning. Savannah's biggest celebration of the year will now come with some heightened security. The city is preparing to welcome Vice President Mike Pence for St. Patrick's Day. City leaders talked about how that will change the experience. This is how. Take a look. This is a map of the enhanced security zone. It includes Johnson and Wright squares. There are major restrictions inside the zone highlighted in red on your screen starting Saturday morning. This spot you see is between Bay Street to the north, Oglethorpe Street to the south, Whitaker Street to the west, and Dayton Street to the east, and everything in between. From 7 until 10 a.m. on Saturday, there will be an intense security sweep for everyone who wants to enter the zone. There's also a list of items that are not allowed that includes alcoholic beverages, flags on sticks, e-cigarettes, and backpacks.
We know that many families have been attending this parade for many generations. The City of Savannah is working closely with the Savannah St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, the White House, and local law enforcement officers to make sure this enhanced security zone is as comfortable as possible.
You will be allowed to bring your cameras, blankets, and wheelchairs, among other items. We have posted a complete list on our website of what you can and cannot have on Saturday. WSAV.com is where you want to go. Just click on the St. Patrick's Day tab.
Well, city leaders met yesterday to discuss the vice president's visit. Leaders of the LGBT community met to talk about how they'll welcome him to the hostess city despite a conflict of political opinion. Leaders tell News 3 they are mostly unhappy with Pence's seemingly anti-LGBTQ actions throughout his political career. Many say it brings a slight level of discomfort to their diverse community, but they say they will not protest. Instead, they plan to allow Pence to get to know the Savannah LGBT community.
His anti-policies have followed him throughout his entire political career. And as his political career advances all the way up to the White House, he's gotten stronger and stronger and more vocal and more anti-LGBT.
Leaders of the LGBT community are encouraging all community members to come out and show their pride by wearing rainbow shirts, flags, and more. But as a security reminder, those flags cannot be on poles or sticks.
New this morning, 2 people were hurt after a gunman opened fire inside an Alabama hospital last night. Officials say the man shot himself after shooting the 2 victims inside the UAB Highlands Hospital. Officials say one of the shooting victims is in critical condition and the gunman died from his injuries. Information on if the victims worked at the hospital and their relationship with the shooter has yet to be released.
Around South Carolina, the sister of Charleston church shooter Dylann Roof is free on bond after being arrested for bringing weapons and drugs to school. 18-year-old Morgan Roof was given a $5,000 bond, charged with simple possession of marijuana and 2 counts of carrying weapons on school grounds. Deputies say the school resource officer was contacted by the school administrator about Roof having marijuana, pepper spray, and a knife. Administrators say she is not allowed to go back to AC Flora High School. No students were harmed.
South Carolina lawmakers are one step closer to figuring out how to spend more than $8 billion in the state's budget. So far, education, healthcare, and law enforcement are the top priorities. Lawmakers are looking at putting close to $1 billion into law enforcement and criminal justice, with a lot of that money going to help the Department of Corrections.
What we're looking for this year is $1,000. The House put in $750 raise for officers. Last year we had a raise. The year before that we had a raise to be competitive with the counties and private business. One of the things that we've mentioned to them is that the raise will make us more competitive and also help us retain folks that are coming in.
The $1,000 raise request equals close to $5 million for the Department of Corrections. The Senate will start looking at that budget next week.
In Georgia, day 2 of witness testimony in the trial of Atlanta lawyer Claude Tex McIver brings a surprising comment from one of his wife's employees. Natalie Rubino has details.
Thanks for coming back.
As the state calls witnesses to the stand in the Tex McIver murder trial, we begin to see just how much history is among the couple's inner circle.
I had met Tex, and yes, we went out for a few months.
Janie Calhoun dated McIver before he and Diane knew each other. She told the jury she met Diane years later. Calhoun became close friends with the couple.
We laughed about it.
But according to Diane's personal assistant, unbeknownst to Calhoun, McIver talked about getting back together with her just 2 days before his dead wife's memorial service.
All he said is he didn't think she was happy with her husband, who was less, and that maybe he could get her back.
Maybe he could get who back?
Janie.
The defense argued that the comment was insignificant because Brown never told investigators about it until recently.
I told them that recently because it's when it came to my mind.
Brown had full control of Diane's finances and organized her bill payments each month.
Was money, that was something that was very important to Diane?
It was.
Brown says at the time of her death, Diane had around $350,000 to $100,000 in her checking account. He says Tex McIver didn't have access to his wife's accounts, so after her death, McIver went to Brown for help to access her money.
He thought she had more money than what she had.
Brown told the jury Diane loaned money to several people and made sure they paid her back each month on time with 5% interest. McIver was the only person with a loan who was allowed to make interest-only payments. The defense says that's because the loan between the couple was never an issue.
Mr. McIver always made his loan payments on time.
Yes.
Police say McIver shot his wife in the back. He claims the shooting was an accident.
Now to a News 3 follow-up this morning. A Savannah restaurant is just minutes now into a world record attempt that is also serving as a fundraiser to help firefighters. News 3's Martin Staunton is on your side, live at the Prohibition Savannah restaurant on MLK with the latest. Martin, good morning to you.
Good morning to you and to everyone watching. They hope to set a Guinness World Record for single-day Irish coffee sales here. In fact, they just put up the big banner just a few minutes ago about the benefit. Again, it started at 11 and will wrap up about 12 hours from now. A portion of the proceeds of those Irish coffee sales are earmarked for the Savannah Firefighters Foundation. One of the Prohibition's partners here is a retired New York City fireman. The Irish coffee sales goal is $2,500, which will generate hundreds of dollars for the firefighters in need if the effort is successful. The president of the Savannah Professional Firefighter says the monies will help the family of a fallen firefighter go to the National Memorial. They will also be used to help another fireman recently diagnosed with stage 3 brain cancer. Robert Miley, president of Savannah Professional Firefighters, says in addition to the inherent danger of their job, firefighters also face cancer at a much higher rate than most professions.
And we're going to take care of the medical bills for our member that just got diagnosed with brain cancer that nationally is being recognized as work-related because the products of combustion that we're exposed to daily. You know, we're working in a toxic soup to try and protect the community, and it's killing our members.
Miley says that their hopes for the fundraiser are high and has the support. This fundraiser has the support of the members. And if you want to help the Firefighters Foundation and at the same time go for a Guinness World Record, you have about 12 hours to do it here at the Prohibition on MLK. Reporting live in Savannah, I'm Martin Staunton, WSAV News 3.
Thanks a lot, Martin. In news for your safety this morning, late winter and early spring are prime time for wildfires here in the South. And the lead cause is people burning debris in their yards. The National Weather Service has issued a warning for South Carolina and Georgia with the strong winds and dry conditions of brush. They're asking people not to burn trash in their yards. The Ridgeland Fire Department saw an increase in brush fires last week, all starting from small debris fires. Fire department suggests that you call and ask about conditions before burning anything in your yard.
A long-standing toy retailer whose jingle is well known by generations will soon be closing.
Coming up after the break, hear from an expert on the effect this could have on the industry and employment. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 Today.